So with the Awakening bot change happening to Thor prior with Hammer Throw and all that, I do feel like he didn't get the fullest Awakening bot potential, but now with this change to cancel Awakening, I do feel like Thor is now the Terminator. But first, let's talk about what was even changed on Thor. So originally the Hammer Throw ability did 75 damage and was on a 2-second cooldown, and it also gave Thor 100 bonus HP whenever he used the ability. But then it was changed off the global cooldowns to 6 seconds, and now it only does 45 damage. However, it refunds 1 Thor force to Thor whenever he hits an enemy, or if it passes through an enemy whenever it comes back to him. Essentially just making it so Thor has hella uptime with his Awakening, not having to use his Lightning Realm off cooldown. So with that change came the Awakening cancel change, which essentially just made it so whenever he entered Awakening, he could just cancel it. Now, in my opinion, the Awakening change was good, but a lot of people are presenting this change as just meh, or he didn't even need the change at all. And why I'm calling the change good, and why I feel like it's actually extremely productive and highly beneficial for Thor, is because it not only gave you way more canceling, just random combos you can do with Thor, it almost feels like Mortal Kombat now. Like, the amount of things you can do with this character in the form of the Awakening cancel combos, it's pretty gross. You can almost always escape a sticky predicament even if you don't kill the enemy. If you just get the entire combo off, and then you end up raining away, it's still fine. It's one of those moments where you went for the combo, it didn't work out, but now you're giving yourself an option to get out. In my opinion, once people start to learn these combos more and more, they're gonna start to realize how strong this random canceling Awakening into using it again off and on cycle instead of just sitting inside of it for the one time. I feel like because you don't get your Hammer Throw up as often to be able to just enter that brawl mode, doing this Awakening usage and then canceling it over and over and over again to give yourself your bonus HP back plus that movement away, it's gonna benefit you pretty heavily. And because of that change, I feel like it gives Thor way more options to do things like be the Captain America type character where you just jump forward, the enemies see you, but you just kind of are the unit, you are the force, you want them to look at you the entire time, and now you're just buying time. So with that, I feel like because you can hold on to Lightning Realm for so much longer, just having to use Hammer Throw to recycle your Awakening over and over and over again, it leaves you so many more opportunities to just skirmish with the front line, hit a Strange, hit a Mag, hit a Cap, hit a Venom, just brawl out, and you don't feel bad about using all of your entire combo on those characters because afterwards, if you see a Mag pop the bubble or a Venom pop the shield, and now they want to escape and play for their downtime, you just use your Lightning Realm now to go forward and get your entire Thor Force combo back up and just execute the entire backline. You can see it from here where I was trying to play aggressively on the tanks, I was brawling back and forth, and then I see an opening in the back line, their front line plays too far forward, I jump in, and because I saved my Lightning Realm after skirmishing with these tanks, I just go in the back line, pop the Luna, pop the Atom, boom boom boom. And you can say, oh well, I mean, their Thor kinda trolled, he should have been peeling, but from his point of view, he was literally finding an opening as well. He saw the Bucky Barnes, he was 1 HP, he went for the kill, turned back around, went to go peel me, but by that time I was already in, killed him, and it was just one of those predicaments where it was just a better moment for me. And again, I feel like I only found that moment because I didn't have to use my Lightning Realm to cycle my cooldowns again. I could go in the front line, fight the Thor, back up, fight the Thor, back up, fight the Thor. Okay, now I see a moment, Lightning Realm in. But before, it would be fight Thor, Lightning Realm, fight Thor, and now I'm just sitting in limbo for 5 seconds because I have one more moment where I have downtime. And then now, yeah, I can hear you guys just saying, well, Jeremy, but before though, why aren't you playing Thor then? If you feel like his uptime for Awakening so much better then, why aren't you playing Thor before? What happened? And it is because I genuinely do believe Thor needed this full-on Awakening cancel to be this useful ass character. Period. There's no more to it. I feel like now that he has this buff, it is the bow on top. That's all he needed. He just needed to be wrapped up. He wasn't wrapped up though. He was an open gift. Now he's wrapped up, he's ready to be sent. And he's cooking. So I'm not going to go into all the combos. There are hella combos you can do with the Awakening. However, I just want to lay out the most important thing that I've seen in almost all the Awakening combos, and that is to use your Hammer Throw always last. I think a lot of players, because they're so used to the old Thor, they're so used to the Sovereign combo where you open up with the Hammer Throw, you open up with your auto attack, you open up with that 110 combo. Now it just feels really awkward to engage on an enemy, not pop the Hammer Throw right away, not go in for the maximum potential amount of damage, but I want to encourage you to refrain from popping Hammer Throw early and always using it for the last and final execute if you have to, or to get away. Hammer Throw should almost always be used as a last resort, or if you know that you're going to go in and cycle your Awakening to fight a tank or to brawl the tank, at least have a reason for popping your Hammer Throw. In that predicament, don't use your Lightning Realm, use your Hammer Throw. But usually, if worst comes to worst, you should be engaging with your Awakening or engaging with your Storm Surge, primary attacking and then using your Awakening, and then afterwards using your Hammer Throw to escape with another Storm Surge. There really should be no moment where you're ever going in, popping the Hammer Throw, popping your primary attack than popping Awakening afterwards, because if you do have to cancel your Awakening, then you're basically just stuck outside on Purge Night unless you're close to the enemy to be able to get a primary attack off, but in that instance, you're probably going to be screwed because why'd you pop Awakening and then cancel it if you were going to be fine anyways? So usually, I find myself just saving my hammer throw until I really need to, and then if I'm running away from an enemy, I can just try to kite back, snipe him with my hammer throw, give myself one more Storm Surge, and then I can just Storm Surge out of there. Or, I just engage on them, go for a good Awakening combo, and I'll use my hammer throw last to finish off the combo because A, saving a good amount of burst damage for after is a lot better than using it before, because if an enemy sees their HP go down immediately, they're just going to pop their runes or their Cloak and Dagger bubble or their Cloak Fade move or Soulbound from Adam Warlock. However, if you use the ability afterwards and you go for the execute damage afterwards, then an enemy won't really expect it. They won't really see that damage coming. It'll just be 1, 2, boom, 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 as opposed to boom, 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 1, 2. You know what I mean? You want to get your maximum amount of damage off last because if you're using it right away, they're going to react to it right away. And then all you have left is just 2 more shots that are coming out slow. Or you can just get your maximum amount of damage off after you get your first 2 shots off so they don't expect it. And then also, even if they do expect it, you don't get the kill. You can just use that hammer throw Thor force to just Storm Surge out of there. You know what I mean? Either way, popping hammer throw last, there's just no downside to it at all. I know it feels awkward, and that's another big segue into why I think overall this feels awkward for everybody. I said it before for the hammer throw reason because we're so used to the Sovereign combo. However, just in general for the Awakening change, I feel like this is just so awkward again because people are just so used to saying, okay, well you were a dumbass if you got caught out with Awakening. You were just a dumbass. And the really big reason why players have a sour taste in their mouth about Thor players is because I feel like they get caught out quite a bit. And now with this Thor change, it feels like, okay, well, what's even the point? Us Thor players never got caught out regardless, so why do we have to cancel it? It just leaves us with our pants down, caught out, doing nothing. But to me, I just don't think of it like that. I don't think of it like that at all. I feel like the ability is incredibly useful. I feel like this now gives us so many more opportunities to find those windows now. You have to use this intuitiveness that we had from the old combo, the old hammer throw combo, and I'll put it into this. Think about it. Us as Thor players just have to find those moments now, and granting yourself to cancel Awakening just gives you those opportunities to find more moments. If you think about it as, oh, what's the point? There's just no use to this ability. If you're a good Thor player, you don't even need this anyways. That's not how we should be thinking about this. You should be thinking about this as how can we incorporate this into our gameplay to make it so it's more effective and better. Don't think about it as, oh, well, we don't even need this. No, but we should be using this though. I'm just trying to say that just because it's new and you can get the job done before, just as well, doesn't mean you can't get the job done even better now. Don't go into this Awakening change thinking about it as trash, and if it feels really awkward for you, the number one recommendation I can give for you is make sure you're saving your Lightning Realm for Lightning Realm moments. Kills in the back, your ultimates, moments where you need to slow the enemy down, or I think try to adapt by saving your cooldowns for the proper moments and not using your cooldowns all at the same time and funneling them in all at the same time. That was one big thing that I was doing during my first stream, my first couple of games, wasting all my abilities right away, just jumping in, popping my Lightning Realm, popping my hammer throw all at the same time, just trying to burst an enemy down. And overall, you're not getting a lot of damage out at all. It's not that worth it to use all those abilities all at once. Go into the practice range, run some combos. I'm making my guide. It's still coming together. All my combos, all those combos will be in the guide, so stay tuned for that. It's coming out. Don't worry, the Thor 2.5 guide is coming out. It is coming out. Don't worry. You are seeing it soon. The other one is now full on, just not even a guide anymore. Both those guides are completely outdated. But yeah, I guess overall, do I enjoy the new Thor? And do I feel like he is quote unquote better than the 1.5 Thor? What's the consensus here? What does Jeremy think? Overall, I do feel like Thor gets the most value in higher elo games being the Awakening bot, and I think this playstyle is going to fit the one above all playstyle a lot more heavily. I think the at-home Thor, the Thor that just kind of sits back, that unfortunately is how you have to play when it comes down to the higher ranked games. You don't see a lot of tanks making creative plays, and the plays they're making are usually based off of just a mag giving a shield to a teammate or a mag giving the ultimate to disengage. It's not usually the tank going crazy and making the chaotic play. And with this change, I do feel like he can brawl a lot more, and he can go in a lot more, and he can dive the backline and a lot more. That is only because he has the option to use his hammer throw correctly and then escape afterwards. I think it becomes a serious, risky game. However, it becomes a game that he can play at least. Before, he wasn't even in the game. He wasn't even offered a chance or a piece at the rock, paper, scissors board, but at least now you can throw a hand in. Before, it was just, you had no competition. You would just go in, pop the awakening, go in, pop the lightning realm, and then you were just stuck outside on Purge Night. Or you just go in, pop the awakening, stuck outside on Purge Night. Or you would put yourself in a predicament where you're just so far off where you couldn't pop awakening because you were just screwed. Or you couldn't even go in on so many predicaments because you saw one extra enemy in the backline and you knew that if you popped awakening, you were screwed. But now at least you have the option to where if you pop awakening, you can get yourself out of a spot by just saving your hammer throw. I do feel like it's awkward and it's not the most fun that Thor doesn't get the random Thor force back whenever he cancels the awakening. I feel like you just exchange that out with saving your hammer throw. It's not the same entirely because one is a get out of jail free card and the other is a land your ability get out of jail card, but at least we're offered an ability to fight back. You can get these diverse and quirky and weird moments. You just gotta be damn good at it. And that's what I love. I love just having to outmaneuver my opponent. And with this new change, at least it gives me a chance. At least it gives me a foot in the runner. I can try to at least do it now. So yeah, I do like the new change. I don't know if I'm just Stockholm syndroming out because it is what it is. It's what we're living in now. You have to accept it, but I'm glad they gave him a change. I'm happy to play the character now. Overall, does it make the character better? I don't know if he's any better than he was before. Honestly, I feel like he is just as good, but in a different way. I feel like this character obviously is different than the other Thor, and you're playing these two characters in a completely different way. One can be more risky now, one can look for more diverse plays, but it's in a different way. You know, you wouldn't be looking for the same diverse backline plays or the diverse stalling plays that you may have before. That's because before you'd be stalling it out by brawling and be stalling it out by like hammer throwing over and over and over again, versus this way you're stalling it out by like popping the awakening, burning the cooldown, jumping away, popping the awakening again. You can do more damage, however you're not doing the same amount of damage in the same way. You're doing it from afar. He's still that same old like B tier character who's just kind of hanging on because he does a lot of damage, and if you're good at the character, you can make a lot of plays happen. You can get in the backline, you can be diversive, you can be creative, you can be weird, you can be annoying, you can be a bastard, but he's not OP. This change didn't make him meta. I catch my stream out on Tuesday. I have exclusive magic drops on my channel, on my Twitch channel. Check it out. Help me get partnership just by lurking, stay around. All the viewership supports me a shit ton on Twitch. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, come by, leave your PCs on, just lurk for free drops. Tell your cousin, tell your dog, get it on your Steam account, get it on your Epic Games account, get it on every single account you have. Just lurk. I really appreciate it. Thank you a lot. Stay tuned for more Thor gameplay and stay tuned for that Thor 2.5 guide, boys. It's coming soon. Legit. This is a big change, and I'm glad to be able to share this journey with you guys again. We're going through a big journey again. Peace, yo. Peace.
2 to the 1, from 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more